Hello, my brothers and sisters. Hello, everyone. I'm here once again to address you. You know that the upcoming presidential elections are very close, and we have to make the right decision. And I'm here to remind you that if we don't do anything, nothing will change on the ground. And even after 2025, we will still have Mr. Biya in power. The situation of Anglophone regions, the so-called northern and southern regions of Cameroon, will remain the same. We will remain in the status quo, and that you know that the war is still prevailing there. As I speak, the war is still raging there, causing a lot of casualties, forcing people to leave their villages. And you have right now many people who have been displaced internally, also externally, because many of them are in Nigeria. So it's a chaotic situation. Those who are paying the salty price are populations, are those people who have been living in those regions for their entire life. And all of a sudden, they have to move, they have to change because their houses have been burned down to ashes, and many of their families members have been killed as a consequence of the war. And so, if we don't do anything right now as I speak, the situation will remain the same. And it will be a pity if we don't act because we have a credible alternative like Professor Maurice Kamto, who believes that it is only when we will come together that we will be able to change our situation. Professor Maurice Kamto is aware of the situation in the southern and northern regions of our country. He is aware of that. This is part of the reason he's been addressing that problem, and every time that he has the opportunity to do so, he has the solutions that they will be implementing on the ground, and like freeing all those who have been arrested during at the beginning of that crisis, which has been transformed into a war. Professor Moscanto will free all those people and to allow them to prepare themselves for a genuine dialogue in which all stakeholders will sit around a table and discuss, because this is the only way to solve this kind of issues. We have to listen to anyone and everyone as well. We have to make sure that the decisions we are making, come from the dialogue, because it has to be a consensus, what we are usually call a common ground. We have to find it, guys. If we sit around a table, putting our hearts, our willingness to solve this matter, I have no doubt that we will succeed. If the war is still there, is only because Mr. Biya has refused categorically to solve the issue. He is afraid of losing an inch of his power because he wants to keep all the power for himself. He refused the federalism. He's been refusing that because most of the time he is saying that what we need in our country is not the federalism. It is somehow that we have to give more power to our regions, and it has not been implemented. He has refused to do so. And Professor Moskamto, like many Cameroonians, believe that the only solution now is to adopt the federalism. The federalism will give more power to our regions to manage their own affairs and businesses. This is the only thing that we can do to solve that issue. And Professor Moskamto will act as such. We implement that right immediately he arrives in power. These are the first thing to know. The second thing is that Professor Moskamto, his first trip nationally will be in the northern and southern parts of our country, because he will go there to reassure people who have been suffering a lot because their hearts are wrenching. We know that, and we can't refuse to see things. The Biya regime has split the country, and as we know, in different portions, because it's the best way to do, and he is just applying the recipe that the pioneers of the colonialism or the slavery have put in place. This is what they have been using this kind of ingredients, divide and conquer. This is what Mr. Biya has been applying since the beginning of the crisis there, because he is dividing Cameroonians. He wants the country to blow up. For some, most country refuses that. We cannot let our country to be torn apart. We can't let that, guys. And so the best way to face our issues is to come together as one people, as one nation. And Poso Moscanto will go there and to reassure all Cameroonians that they have to consider themselves as Cameroonians. It's important, guys, because some guys in the Bia's regime have been considering, those people as second-class citizens. We can accept that. Those people have to be treated with fairness, with decency, and most importantly, with dignity. And Poso Mos Kamto wants to consider all Cameroonians, because we are all people of the same nation, and we have to sit down and discuss. And I have no doubt that we will succeed. Poso Mos Kamto is not only is he a very decent man, a man of integrity, but he is also very willing to listen, because what has been a part of our problem is that Mr. Bia has never been a guy who was ready to listen. Poso Mos Kamto is a completely different person. He is fear of humanity, but also humility. Because if you are not humble in your life, you can learn from others. You can listen to others. And Poso Moskamto will do that. He will be listening to all Cameroonians to have all their grievances, because this is very important. And Rana, as I speak, many Cameroonians are complaining. They have been stigmatized for so long, and mostly those called Anglophone people, they feel like they have never been treated fairly, and so there is a lot of frustration, and Poso Moscanto will address that, because if we want the reconciliation that Poso Moscanto has been claiming, and we need to know exactly what happened, and those who have creating that chaos, that turmoil, have to be no have to be held accountable, but not a kind of vengeance. Not possible. We can be there for that, and we have to be there to allow Cameroonians to come together. Poso Moscanto will not allow that kind of vendetta. It's not necessary for our country, because we are a very young country. We have to build up our institutions. We have to organize ourselves as one people if you want to face different difficult problems ahead. If we want to develop our country, and economically, socially, politically, it's important to adopt this approach. And Poso Moscanto is aware of that, guys. And you know that part of the problem has been the fact that our resources have not been shared fairly. And if we can have a condign society, I don't see how we can become one nation, because it's part of the problem. I think it's also essential to emphasize on that. That if you consider ourselves as a people, as children of the same nation, our resources have to be shared fairly within all regions of our country, and to allow these resources to be invested in the development of our country, and globally, because it is what we should be doing. Now, I know, as I speak, I know that many Cameroonians do not believe in what I'm saying, because they are frustrated, because they have lost um, some members of their families. And I do understand that. I do understand the frustrations. I do understand the reason why they refuse to accept the offer of Maurice Kamto. But I'm here to tell them that we have no option right now left on the table. No option. The only option is to accept Maurice Kamto as the president of our country. Because to say that now you want a kind of cessation, that you do not consider yourselves as Cameroonians anymore, I do understand your posture. I do understand your sufferings. I do understand that somehow you are injured. I do understand the fact that the Biya regime has jeopardize everything that could help young people of your communities or of your regions to build themselves, and also to develop themselves as men and women who can have a decent life. I do understand that this kind of opportunities have not been shared equally and with equity. I do understand that, but at the same time, guys, I just want to invite you to have a holistic view about what's going on in Cameroon. Look at the situation of the so-called francophone regions. It's the same sufferings. I know that we don't have the same issue, because what you are asking for is a federalism composed of two states. But I just want to tell you that the Francophone region is encompassed, of many other villages and regions. To If you go there, you will realize that the situation is all the same. That all Cameroonians, the vast majority of Cameroonians, is suffering. It's suffering because the politics that the Biya regime has put in place has been to impoverish Cameroonians in order to control them, in order to, to confiscate the institutions and to remain at the helm of our country as long as possible. This has been the strategy of Mr. Biya and his regime. So nothing is new here. I'm just here to invite you that if you want to put an end to the war which is still raging in the northern and southern parts of Cameroon, we have to vote for a candidate like Maurice Kamto, because he will work as never before to stop that war immediately after his arrival in power. Maurice Kamto knows what he's talking about. Some Cameroonians are saying that Maurice Kamto is not there for federalism. He is there for federalism. He has addressed that many times. Every time that he is out there to have a conversation with Cameroonians, to have an exchange with Cameroonians, even during his meeting in Canada. Professor Maurice Kamto grabbed the opportunity to address that again, that we will implement the federalism in our country, because this is what all Cameroonians are asking for. Starting from 2 states, the Anglophone regions will represent 1 state, and the last 8 other regions, Francophone ones, will represent 1 state. And after that, the federalism could be then and could be extended in all other regions, because it's the only way that we have now to change the situation, the critical situation of our country. Things are getting really tight. As I speak, you know that our economy is plunging, and we have a lack of resources of our country, and the inflation is skyrocketing, and I have no words to express what many Cameroonians are feeling now, because they can't afford to put food on the table. We have no energy in Cameroon, no hospitals, no tar roads in Cameroon. Many of them are dying in the halls every day, in the hospitals every day, because there is nothing which is done to change the situation. This is what is really critical right now as I speak, and we have to reverse that. We have to come together as people of the same nation to change that, guys. I I can guarantee you that if we start from now, working together, try to convince all our friends or our families members that Apostle Moskamto is the only and the unique option we have now to put our country in a different pathway, then we will succeed, because Apostle Moskamto will never deceive us, guys. I'm certain about that, and I won't wind up without telling you this. Every time I'm still inviting my brothers and sisters. During the presidential elections, you have to scrutinize all candidates. Go and do some research. You know, because it's essential to understand what these guys have done for themselves, for the nation. Why are they willing to become presidents now? We have to check, what are their records. If you go, you will discover what Posomos Kamto has done for himself, for the nation, and why he is willing to become president now. You will understand, guys. And I don't want to remind you many things that he has done, and he has been working very diligently to allow Cameroon to get the so-called peninsula of that Nigeria was exploiting, and he has worked very hard to allow that portion of our country to get back to us, and he's been very successful in doing so, and the integrity of our country has been kept because of Professor Maurice Kamto. I just want to remind you that during his professional career, has been working side by side with all African countries, defending their interests, most of the time against France, against Western countries. He's been working for that, to change to make things better for African countries. So when we talk about Pan-Africanism, Professor Maurice Kamto is one of the leaders of that ideology, which is just to allow Africa to make their own decisions, to use their own mechanisms as free people, as people of integrity, to develop their countries, and also to give a better life to their citizens. This is the true definition of Pan-Africanism. And Professor Maurice Kamto has been working with all the other leaders to implement that. And once he becomes president, he will invite all other presidents to sit around a table and to see how we are going to build up this Pan-African institution, because everything will start from there, guys. We talk. Most of the time is not it's not important if we can translate that into tangible actions. And Professor Mostrant is not about talk. He is a very pragmatic guy. So every time when he says something, he knows how to implement that. He knows how to make that become not a dream, but become something tangible, become something that can be useful for Africa. And when he says that Cameroon, that the economy of Cameroon will take off right immediately after he arrives in power, it's because when we talk about the franc CFA, Professor Maurice Kamto, we get rid of that, because we will have we need to be free also in that sense, because we have our own currency, and to put in place some economic politics that we need to implement. And it's important to have our own currency that we can manage according to the inflation, according to the situation of our own economy. And when I say that, we know that everything will start from the industrialization of Cameroon. We need to boost our industries to allow our country to put itself at a very good position of negotiations, because to be able to negotiate the price of our resources, our raw materials, because this is what we are doing now, we need to start from behind to build up our economy with industries. We need companies to be built, and for that we need to create a conducive environment to do that, guys. So it's a matter of organization, is a matter of being of planning things very well, because to forecast things according to the geopolitical situation of the world. But I have no doubt that if we are able to make our agriculture, to industrialize our agriculture, to be to have some added value, because we are transforming and our raw materials into valued products. I've no doubt that we will be able to develop our country and very swiftly, guys. I've no doubt about that. So it's a matter of coming together. Professor Maurice Kamto, we have in power for 7 years. During those years, he will be able to put in place some reforms, profound reforms, and the justice system will be free. Okay, it's important, guys. If you have all these things done, if we put in place all these mechanisms that will allow us to put ourselves at the best position to be competitive against other nations, or starting from Africa and to widespread, our domination also overseas. If we are able to do that, you will see the results on the ground. It won't be talks, because the Biya regime has been talking a lot, and we know that words are cheaper than actions. At some point, we need actions. For more than 4 decades, the Biya regime has not done anything to change the situation of Cameroonians. And I'm saying this because you can see that on the ground. Cameroonians are complaining every day. They are suffering. The poverty is ramping up, has been ramping up for more than 4 decades. The situation of Cameroonians is very critical from different perspectives, guys. So I'm not here to criticize the Biya regime without proposing. Professor Maurice Kamto has a plan, a project for us. His program is very clear. For once, Cameroonians will have the power to manage their own affairs and businesses. This is what we call freedom. It means that what we talk about the so-called independence, it has never been a true independence. Professor Maurice Kamto, we allow our country for once to be free and to manage their own businesses, to be able to say, okay, we are going to negotiate the prices of our own resources in a very competitive world. We are aware of that. Better if we free ourselves, you will see that things will get in motion very soon. If you are able to have a president, a competent president, Apostle Maurice Kamto, things will change dramatically and in good manner, guys. And you will see things changing drastically and very soon. Because Cameroonians are very smart, intelligent. I have no doubt about their abilities, their dynamic, their dynamics. I have no doubt about that. We need to put that dynamic in motion, into play. You will see the results by yourselves. We will surprise ourselves because, guys, because maybe you don't know about Cameroonians. Cameroonians are very smart people. They are people who are, you have many entrepreneurs around the world, many engineers, many doctors, professors, those who are, they're always trying to be the leaders everywhere they are. Overseas, you go to foreign countries, you will discover how Cameroonians are dominating all sectors, guys. So it's a matter of counting on these guys. It's a matter of putting in place a very open environment in which all these guys will come with their expertise and put that in place and put that into motion. And you will see the results coming out by themselves, guys. This is what Professor Maurice Kamto will do. Okay, guys, I'm inviting you to once again and to register on the electoral list on 1st of January to be ready to vote massively for Professor Maurice Kamto. Invite all your brothers and sisters, all your parents, everyone, all your friends to register on the electoral list to be ready to vote for Professor Maurice Kamto and to defend your votes. If all those families members which are in Yaoundé, Douala, who are in Yaoundé, Douala, if you convince them about voting for Professor Maurice Kamto, about mobilizing ourselves to defend our vote, then you will see the results, guys. You have to cast your vote for Professor Maurice Kamto. In the ballot box, in the ballot box, when you are there to cast your vote for Professor Maurice Kamto. This is worthy. It's not about talks. It's about choosing the right guy at this specific moment. We are at the pivotal moment of our country. We can't make a mistake to waste this opportunity of having Professor Maurice Kamto as the president of our country, guys. I'm inviting you to make the right decision and to invite your brothers and sisters to do the same. And you will see that Professor Maurice Kamto will become our president. We change things from from scratch things will be, he will swear in as our the first autonomous, independent president ever in Cameroon. You will see that. And if we have a free president, and in our country we get his sovereignty, and we will be able to develop our country very, very swiftly, guys. Okay, guys, please share this video with your friends and subscribe. Bye bye.